A Midwestern town in America, Raccoon City. A solitary island far off in the sea, Rockfort Island. An island that would become the second Raccoon City, Sheena Island. There are still many unanswered questions about these seemingly unrelated yet intensely traumatic events. Though it is believed that the International Enterprise umbrella was somehow involved, little is known as to the origin of this faceless corporation. When was it established? By whom?
Hello and welcome to Mouse Droplet Gaming. This is my review for Resident Evil Zero. Recently Capcom have focused on releasing remastered versions of games such as Resident Evil last year and Dragon's Dogma. In my opinion, that's a good thing as it allows the players to experience their game again in better quality, and it also helps give new players the reason to go back and play great games. Resident Evil has now arrived on next-gen consoles.
Order for transportation. Prisoner Billy Cohen, ex-lieutenant, 26 years old. Court-martialed and sentenced to death July 22nd.
Resident Evil Zero starts out with two characters named Rebecca Chambers and Billy Cohen. Rebecca is from the unit STARS and Billy is a military prisoner on the run. The game starts on a moving train where Rebecca is sent to investigate crimes in the mountains. On the train she meets Billy, who is on the run, and they end up having to work together to survive. The story is a little bit cheesy and the characters are a bit over the top, but I found it worked well. I loved the ability to be able to switch between the two characters, and they possess slightly different traits. Rebecca is good at combining herbs and chemicals that are needed, whereas Billy is strong and is good at combat. You also have the option to tell the other AI character to hold back. As I said, the two meet on the train, which is overrun with zombies, and they must find a way out. Like many Resident Evil games, its gameplay requires thought and most importantly item and ammo reservation. Supplies are sparse and it's important to carefully manage your equipment during the game. The amount of space in your inventory is pretty limited, and the game forces you to have to make some decisions about what to take with you. I thought this was great as it adds more tension to the already nerve-wracking experience. I've played a lot of Resident Evil games over the years and found that recent stories have been a bit disappointing. I have to say that I really loved the story in Zero because of its interesting setting and pairing of characters that worked well. The game can be finished in under 9 hours, but there is plenty of narrative and character development to keep things interesting. I thought that the idea of having to make your way through a train was a clever idea and setting, as it means you're always in a confined space. It also means that you only have one way to go, more or less, and therefore you will have to face your fears. Like most Resident Evil games, the gameplay mainly consists of inventory management, action and puzzle solving. Zero does a fantastic job of having a well-balanced mix of each aspect. The combat and weapons feel satisfying and feel impactful. Most of the puzzles you encounter in the game utilise the dual player mechanic, which I actually thought worked really well at times. This is where it becomes extremely important to search every area and make exploration feel rewarding. The game also has some horrific enemies to face. The game does a perfect job of keeping you on your toes, and I found myself getting scared on numerous occasions. The remastered version has also added some interesting new features that give the game some replayability. Firstly, there's Wesker mode, which you unlock after the game, and you can run fast and barge people out of the way in that mode. There's also New Game Plus mode, Leech Hunter mode, which is extremely challenging, and the gallery. The overall presentation of the game is very impressive. I was surprised at how good the game looked after considering it's been a remake of an old game. The environments and characters have good detail and look fantastic. The use of lighting in the game works really well, and the game uses the idea of light and dark to enhance scary moments. The game also uses interesting camera angles that creates tension. The game has also changed the inventory slightly, and you can see the characters on full screen. The camera angles are a little bit awkward at times, and meaning it feels a bit clumsy. The sound design is very good and what you would expect from a Resident Evil game. It uses creepy music that builds tension. It does a great job of using music to build tension throughout appropriate moments to make you feel involved in the world. Overall, Resident Evil Zero has done a fantastic job of creating an experience that is absorbing, atmospheric and scary. The game looks great with well designed characters and environments. The camera angles and impressive use of lighting helps add to the game. The characters can feel a little cheesy, but that helps to relieve some of the tension. The story is engaging and is one of my favourite Resident Evil plots in a while. I would certainly recommend this game if you're a fan of Resident Evil franchise or horror survival games. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.